marks World Food Day. This day is an occasion that brings the spotlight to the millions of undernourished people in the world. World Food Day is commemorated annually on the 16th of October in remembrance of founding the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Now, this organization basically thrives in eradicating hunger, food insecurity. And with us in studio now is Doug Smart, who is the Managing Director of KFC South Africa. Doug, not South Africa, Africa. Doug, thank you. Thanks very much for being with us.
Leanne, it's a pleasure to be here.
So we talk about World Food Day. What is the day really all about?
Well, look, I think for us, it's a day for us to speak about Add Hope. But it's a day to, I guess, to highlight or elevate the issue we have, particularly in South Africa, of hungry people. And we like to even concentrate more on hungry children.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, when you're reading statistics of how much food wastage actually contributes to our overall GDP here in South Africa, and the numbers have sort of jumped out of my mind for a second, but it's astronomical. It really is a big problem in this country.
Look, the numbers that I think scare me the most are, we kind of get used to it. You know, we drive past the robots and we go to school, but there are 3.2 million children every day who go to school hungry. Now, what's fascinating is this is not so much just about food itself, but about their ability to concentrate, the ability to grow, the ability to learn. So 3.2 million children in South Africa are struggling to set the foundations for their lives. So what we love about Add Hope is by feeding children, it's more than food. We set them up for the foundation for really social growth, cognitive growth, and of course physical growth.
Talk to me more about Add Hope, because I know for anybody that goes to KFC, there's always that question at the end, just about when you're about to sort of hit the final button.
Indeed.
Would you like to add hope?
Yes.
That's the charity that you have. What is it all about?
It's a fascinating program because it's only been alive since 2009. Right. So for a long time, KFC had a CSI program, like many big organizations do. In 2009, we started inviting our customers to join us with that question that you referenced, would you like to add hope? And back in 2009, like today, the ask was 2 Rand. What's remarkable is in that first year of 2009, our customers donated about 6.5 million Rand.
Wow.
Last year, they donated 38 million.
Amazing.
It's
and
incredible.
That's from I think it's a 2 Rand?
2 Rand at a time.
So it's 2 Rand,
38 million, 2 Rand at a time. This year, we're shooting for 43 million, 2 Rand at a time. In this very month, World Hunger Month, we're shooting for 5 million. Okay. Now, I was sharing with a friend earlier this morning that I remember 5 years ago, we were feeding 40,000 children a day with that money. Today, it's 120,000 children every day.
Every single day, all around South Africa?
All around South Africa. So we basically work through 12 national, beneficiaries. So beneficiaries like Jam, Africa Tikkun, etc. And then about 125 little local rural ones, where a store out in Mpumalanga might partner with an orphanage or an early childhood development center to feed those children in that one center.
Yeah, you know, it's such a wonderful initiative. It really is. And I mean, I was talking about the numbers that I was clutching at here, but it's something along the lines of 10 million tons, or a third of available food in South Africa, is not eaten and it is wasted. Now, when you talk about the amount of children and people that go to bed starving every single day here in South Africa and the wastage of 10 million food, how do you guys, especially when it comes to big chains like KFC, how do you work around food wastage? Because obviously there's a shelf life for everything.
No, indeed. Look, on the food waste side, which for us is not nearly as big as, I guess, as what I'm going to call the fundraising to feed hunger side. Yeah. But the food waste side, what we do is we take, especially our protein. So on the food waste side, protein is precious. Protein is like gold. So we take our protein, our chicken, that doesn't meet our sort of shelf life standards. By that I mean, we sell it within 90 minutes. Otherwise, we freeze it, keep it, and then that goes to food banks. So we make sure that our food gets to food bank and gets to people in need. Not necessarily just to children, but to hungry people of South Africa. Whereas Add Hope is focused on hungry children. We're very single-minded about that. Yeah,
which is so important, because, I mean, at the end of the day, when a child is going to school, I mean, there are children that literally have one meal a day, and that is it, and they're meant to go on this, whereas, you're taught that kids are going to constantly be, it's food for the brain, it's food for the mind, they've got to concentrate, they've got to be active. This is part and parcel of a successful kid going through the ranks of school into university and making a great career. I mean, if you don't have food in you, That's the basic.
It really
basic
is,
right.
And we even like to sharpen it to say, we focus on that first 1,000 days, and that actually includes even the pregnancy in the womb days. But if a child doesn't have its nutritional development in those first 1,000 days, you can tell for the rest of its life.
Yeah. Well, what do you advise to South Africans? Because, I mean, obviously I know a lot of people do come to KFC and, just the idea of donating that R2, I think you've enforced it even more. But if you can't, yes, how do you help? How can we assist?
Well, the one thing I must tell you, which blows me away about South Africa, we get so much bad news, so much negative news, so much politics, etc. But South Africans are so generous.
Yeah, they are.
In the last 2 or 3 years, while we've been struggling economically, while retail, etc., has been struggling, people are donating more and more every year to Add Hope. And so my message is thank you, and let's just keep feeding the hungry children of South Africa.
Yeah.
I'm humbled by it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a passion of many, many people, and I do hope that we continue to do that, just giving kids the best start that they can. When we look at the numbers, 12 million people in South Africa are considered to be food insecure,
there you go,
and losing a third of production impacts food and affordability. We've just focused on school children, but I mean, when you speak about a workforce that needs to get through a day without eating,
indeed,
it's very, very difficult. But thank you for talking to us. Keep up the great work with the Add Hope campaign. That's the MD of KFC Africa, Doug Smart. It is World Food Day today, so spare a thought for those people that have absolutely nothing. When you have an abundance and you actually don't know what to do with it, just think about them and try and assist where you possibly can. All right, the time now, 21 minutes past 8 on this Monday morning here on Morning Live, and it's a big celebration in studio.